creator of the NRC brand, gives his insight and thoughts on the world of comic books, gaming, tech, and media industries as the host of Neo Reality Collective. Experience a slew of regular episodes covering news and pop culture, along with reviews and editorial pieces showcasing the best and worst of our ever-expanding multimedia world.
Welcome everyone to Neo Reality Collective. I'm your host Eric Brown, and we're back again with the next big episode. And in this first scene, Magik is finally getting an ongoing series for the first time in her long publication career. Mostly because she's been relegated to miniseries or, New Mutants. But now she's finally getting her own series, and I've actually expanded upon this in the NRC conversations in the first episode of it, and I have said I was cautiously optimistic about it because, well, Tom isn't much of a fan of Magik until he tried to say, well, because I'm the editor now and I can do the way I wanted to do it. Well, okay, that's still a concern because it depends on how he wants to view this. And spoiler alert for everyone who doesn't know, I went to Baltimore Comic-Con and I actually talked to Tom. Yes, I talked to Tom for a brief moment and I asked him straight up, is Pryde and Magik gonna get together in this era of X-Men, because people have been wanting it for years now, and people thought it made more sense than the others. And he just said that they're currently in two separate books, Exceptional X-Men and X-Men. And then I said, oh, well, they'll definitely get in contact with each other again, like it's kind of inevitable with X-Men books. And he said, yeah, they'll no doubt be in contact together real soon, and actually says that there have been people who've been wanting that for years, and comments how it would be understandable for people to get excited for that idea and whatnot. And he didn't give a lot of answers. He didn't say a definitive yes or no, but he did kind of give this vibe that it might happen, but we'll see. Meanwhile, the Lord of the Rings of Power series that has currently been floundering for many people is still set to do the 5 seasons $1 billion thing despite the ratings decline, because Amazon's taking masochistic pleasure in this at this point. But yeah. Season 2 premiere was a 50% drop in viewership for the same period of time the Season 1 premiered, and on Tuesday of that week, Prime Video announced that 40 million viewers have watched The Rings of Power Season 2 in the first 11 days of availability, while Season 1 dropped a whopping 25 million in the first 24 hours alone when it debuted in 2022. So, yeah, that's not a good sign if the massive viewership is because it's stretched out as opposed to the first episode. But yeah, Prime Video is still committed to the 5-season planned $1 billion investment because they're insane. And while they haven't officially announced the renewal of Season 3, writing was announced to have begun Season 3 developments back in February. Condolences. Also, Xbox is bringing back friend requests for the first time since the 360 era. That certainly explains a lot, because because they replaced the word friends with followers and whatnot, and I was confused by that. So I thought friend requests were still a thing during the Xbox One era, and then they got rid of it. But guess not. But yeah, nostalgic time. Woohoo! So remember when Grand Moff Tarkin showed up in the Rogue One movie, and people were very mixed about his appearance? So it turns out that Peter Cushing's image for Rogue One has been sued because a friend of Cushing has alleged Disney did not have permission to recreate the author's image with special effects for Rogue One. And Disney has reportedly tried to deny had the case dismissed for 2 times since on September 9th. The plaintiff is suing Lucasfilm through his film company Tyvern Film Productions, and also brought claims against Rogue One producer Lunix Heavy Industries, the late executors of Cushing's estate, crushed Cushing's agency, Associate International Management. Francis claimed that he must give authorization for any recreation of his image, following an agreement made between him and the actor in 1993, 1 year before his death at the age of 81. Lucasfilm claimed they didn't think it needed permission to recreate his image due to his original contract with Star Wars, and then 1997 film, which became Episode 4, and the nature of the special effects. It also paid around $37,000 to the estate after being contacted by his agent about the recreation. So you're using an old contract from A New Hope, even though that was his only appearance, and you're trying to use that. The Deputy High Court Judge, Tom Mitchison, dismissed the appeal, stating the case should go to trial. I am also not persuaded that the case is unarguably to the standard required to give summary judgment or to strike it out. In an area of developing law, it is very difficult to decide where the boundaries might lie in the absence of a full factual inquiry. So, yeah, this doesn't look good. But yeah, I was like, okay, using an old contract from decades ago, and especially since he was alive, kind of comes off as warped, especially after Disney already got outed for that whole, he signed for a Disney Plus right, therefore he waived all rights to his loved one's death. From the restaurant incident where they try to go for arbitration, which is still the most fucked up thing I've ever heard. So, I am curious why it took this long for this to happen, because Rogue One was... Oh my god, it's almost been 10 years. Man, we're old. Meanwhile, so, on to hopefully positive news. Another game that's nearly a decade old. Damn it. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt has a new mod out, and it's restored cut content from The Witcher 3, especially an ending where Ciri becomes a Witcher herself. My god. So, yeah, I'm not going to spoil what the ending is, since that's going to be also what you're going to do, since people are probably going to download that just to play it. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome that these cut content is being restored, and we're able to see what the original vision was. With working dialogue and showing a sliver of additional content for The Witcher 3 usually cuts to credits afterwards. So, yeah, pretty awesome stuff on these modding communities. Meanwhile, Konami says that, yes, we admit it, Metal Gear Solid Master Collection had a pretty rough launch, but we're being more careful with Volume 2. Hey, at least the PlayStation... if a bunch of these games leave the PlayStation exclusivity of PlayStation 3, I'll be all for it. So yeah. Also, we have Metal Gear Solid 3 being remade, so we'll see how that works out. Also, during the week of September 10th, Sony announced the PlayStation 5 Pro. Yay! And it costs $700 and doesn't come with a disc drive. God damn it! So, yeah, $700 for a no standing, no vertical stand, no disc drive, and it costs you $700 is absolute BS. And then you had to look up about the accessories to make up for that compensation, like a disc drive and a vertical stand. It would cost you a total of $800. And I had seen videos of the PS5 Pro and whatnot, and I was looking at it and I was like, at this point, this is like masochistic placebo effect. Like, that's the only way I took from this. Like, at all. So, yeah. And people were wondering why they did this, but Sony decided to say the lack of competition made it an easier decision for Sony to run it with a higher price point because Microsoft is not making a mid-gen refresh. So, Sony inadvertently just gave all the Sony ponies and all the tribalists and whatnot the glimpse of what would happen if they got their way with a Sony dominant future. So that was a horrible idea. And that doesn't help that the ex-PlayStation chief European studio decided to go ahead and say that laid off developers should drive an Uber or go to the beach for a year because that's how the world works. So, yeah, the former boss of PlayStation Europe is not helping things. Meanwhile, Team Fortress 2 players make an actual book out of 340,000 anti-bot petition signatures delivered to Valve HQ. Valve's not going to listen, probably, sadly. Like when I heard this, I was like stunned of how dense the book was. I was like impressed that they were trying this hard to get Valve to listen. But I'm pretty sure Valve is not going to listen because they don't care anymore. Like, this has been a prevalent issue since 2022, and while it has gotten Valve's attention and it was trying to improve it by initiating bot ban, it's only gotten worse over time. And yeah, it's pretty bad. Luckily, I don't play Team Fortress 2 like I used to. I used to play it before it got out of control, but yeah. So, Ubisoft is not doing so well. So, Outlaws is not selling well because people are finally realizing that they're getting sick of this, of the industry, especially Ubisoft's treatment of how they don't really seem to care about their games. And Assassin's Creed Shadows is set to come out later this year, and it also is not getting a positive reception from people, and I'm not counting the Yasuke isn't real, or Black Samurai, and the opportunity to be a racist, or historical accuracy in a historical fiction's gameplay. But yeah, after the launch of Outlaws, Ubisoft shares price plunged, and now a disgruntled investor is calling on the company to go private as the shares slump. Yeah. So this isn't a good thing if Ubisoft is declining this badly. They better hope they are making the best damn Assassin's Creed with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Probably not, but and their old antique practices of season passes and whatnot is still annoying. So yeah, even X Defiant has been having issues with since their launch, and that's a free-to-play game. Condolences. So yeah, also, we're going to make there's going to be a future video of the NRC conversations about this, but George R. R. Martin has revealed that he has not made much Winds of Winter progress lately because the TV shows has ate up his time. So, yeah, let's see. Here's what I'm just going to say. He should just tell us how it ends. He's just had his birthday recently. He should just tell us how it ends, because no one wants to go ahead and see this all be finished by another offer after George R. R. Martin one day passes away, and no one really wants to just be left with no ending and no explanation of how it's supposed to end with A Dream of Spring, because remember, he has not done anything with Dream of Spring because he wants to finish Winds of Winter. He's not doing it simultaneously. He's not doing it back to back. Yeah. It's been over 10 years since A Dance with Dragons. And while I do think Winds of Winter will come out before he passes away in his life, but I definitely think he should just tell us how it ends, since Dreams of Spring is not probably would probably be even longer. And he even admits that he's also trying to do Blood and Fire, the sequel to Fire and Blood, the second part of the Targaryen history book. And he just keeps saying how he would like to turn out more. It's like he could either quit the TV stuff and just finish on that, or just tell us how it all ends. That's all I see at this point. So, yeah, Activision, back to gaming news. Black Ops 6 will not offer campaign early access. Given the statement given to Charlie Intel, Activision said that the many Call of Duty developers working on the game are focused on the October 25th launch, and has released the early access for those who pre-ordered recent Call of Duty games, including Modern Warfare 3. They said that, yeah, we're not doing that this time, because they're fully committed to doing this. Probably a good idea, especially since no one wants to remember Modern Warfare 3.2's campaign. And yeah, and plus I always liked it when we got and while I understand those who want early access, I certainly have partaken in that, but like Call of Duty, I feel like should just come out entirely, especially since I played the beta and it was freaking awesome. Meanwhile, Spider-Man 4's director update. There's currently talks with Shang-Chi's director to helm the next Spidey film, and there's been disputes about what is going to be involved with the Spider-Man mythos in the MCU, because there's been there was whole things going on with, is this going to be a multiversal story, or is it going to be a ground level story? There was a dispute with Sony and Marvel about that. And then with the whole morphing project of Doomsday, Doctor Doom, and the Secret Wars being revamped, it's kind of, and people speculate, and there's been rumors going around that Spider-Man 4 is going to be between Doomsday and Secret Wars, which will tell the story of Spider-Man, the symbiote, probably, if they still bring that in, and all the other crazy stuff going on, especially in the Venom 3 movie. I'll get to that soon. But yeah, it's been a wild ride on that front, and I don't know what's going to happen on that. Meanwhile, the TV show for Harry Potter that's written by a transphobic bigot is holding open casting for Harry, Hermione, and Ron. And hooray. And they said they previously announced that the show would hopefully sometime debut in 2026. And the deadline submission is set for October 31st, 2024, and auditioning children must be residents of the UK or Ireland. And asks hopefully young actors to submit a video reading a short story or poem of their choosing, but please nothing from Harry Potter. Okay, that's a very interesting answer. And they only will consider children who are aged 9 to 11 in April 2025. They've said that, and listing filming dates as 2025 to 2026 in the UK, so we'll probably filming might begin in 2025 of April. We'll see. I'm not going to watch it. I've never been into Harry Potter. And this was before J.K. Rowling lost her complete freaking mind. Meanwhile, Baldur's Gate 3. They unleashed the modding community to the fullest potential, and a Baldur's Gate 3 modder within days has already unlocked the complete dev toolkit to create entirely new campaigns and content. I would not be surprised if it came out that they did this, that Larian allowed this to happen intentionally. Let's frickin' go. Meanwhile, Andrew Garfield insists he's not an MCU Spider-Man 4. So, here's the thing about Andrew Garfield saying that. It's like, I could believe it this time around, but since there's rumors that that Spider-Man 4 might be set in the Battle World era, between Doomsday and Secret Wars, that's not helping his case. But at the same time, it's like with the rumors about Venom and whatnot, it's certainly not helping. Good news for those who want to see Peacemaker Season 2, even though it's not really a Season 2 and more or less is a reboot. I'll get to that in a sec. Season 2 is set to arrive at some point in the second half of 2025 and after the July 11th release of Superman, posted by James Gunn on Threads, because that's his social platform of choice, much like Zack Snyder uses Vivo for his social media platform of choice. So, yeah. Here's the thing about Peacemaker. Why is it called Peacemaker Season 2 so far? There's rumors that I might get a proper name, a proper subtitle name. But here's how I would have done it. I would have just made Peacemaker Season 1 a limited series, retool it as a limited series since that takes place in the dead DCEU, and have a subtitle for Peacemaker Season 2 be Eat Peace Mofo. Someone actually pitched that on Twitter. One of my buddies on Twitter pitched that, and that would be awesome. So, I'm curious as to know how they're gonna explain certain things, because apparently Rick Flag Sr. is going to be in the next Peacemaker series, in the new Peacemaker, which raises questions considering Rick Flag from the Suicide Squad is dead, but that was from the old DC universe that was being filmed, and that would have to imply something, the Suicide Squad had to have happened but went differently because Superman didn't show up yet, unless they decide to have a post-credit scene where Superman gets shot. But then that leads to so many other questions I have. So, Electric Boogaloo? I don't know. Meanwhile, Apple had their big event where they announced the iPhone 16, the Apple Watch, the iPad, more iPad technology, the iPhone 16's Desert Titanium that sold out rather quickly, and pre-orders went live, AirPods 4, everything's gone crazy. Yeah, it was a pretty day. I'm probably going to get the Pro Max. I've been trying to get that because I've been on an iPhone 13 this whole time for the last several years. So, yeah, and after iPhone 16, I might wait till the iPhone 20 comes out, and then I'll upgrade after that. So, I'm just kind of like, it's time to get a new phone. Plus, I think my phone is getting the obsolescence feature built in now. So, that is annoying. But, this was probably the shortest episode of Neo Reality Collective this time around, clocking in nearly 25 minutes. That's saying a lot. I just went through these like a breeze. There was some things to cover, and I also have more episodes already booked in the can to be made. But, this was your host, Eric Brown of Neo Reality Collective. Look forward to more episodes down the road, and also more NRC conversations. Now, will there be more NRC reviews? That's going to be a little bit difficult to explain. Basically, my idea is that I'm hoping to get back into doing reviews, but I'm probably going to wait till I get to episode 90 of NRC, which is a few episodes away, just to get to a milestone. And then after that, I'll do some reviews for a little bit. And then I'll do the review. Then I'll go back to finish the 10 episodes of NRC to get to 100, and then we'll be in business. And NRC conversations will continue as irregular as they can be. So this was your host, Eric Brown of Neo Reality Collective. Stay tuned for this last outro, and also thanks to Everyday Fans for helping this podcast get off the ground more and more. We'll see more of you all again next time. Peace, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Peace, take care, have a good night, everybody.
And that was our latest edition of Neo Reality Collective. Be sure to follow and support NRE creator Eric Brown on Twitter and YouTube. Check the links in the description below, and we'll see you all next time.